Hi, I'm Beth from My Tutoring Bee, and in today's video, we're talking about rectangular prisms and cubes and finding their volume and surface area. I have a few examples, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we've got this cube here, and we can tell that it's a cube because all of the edges are 2 meters in length, and we're being asked to find the lateral and total surface area, and then also to find the volume. So let's just start with the lateral surface area. I've got some of our formulas over here. So LSA is for lateral surface area, and we're given that it is equal to pH. Okay, so let's start with that. What do these letters mean? So P is for perimeter. Perimeter of what? Whenever we're asked for the perimeter in a formula, when we're dealing with three-dimensional shapes, we want the perimeter of the base shape. Okay, since this is a rectangular prism, then the rectangle is the base of the shape. Now, conveniently, because all of our faces of this three-dimensional shape are a rectangle, pretty much any of these rectangles could be our base. So what we typically use as our base is whichever rectangle is here on the bottom part, like as if it's sitting on the floor, right? So this would be the rectangular base, that we would use. So what is the perimeter of that? Well, we've got 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, right? Because this is a cube, we know that it's going to be 2 meters all the way around the outside edge of this square. It is a square base, and a square is a type of rectangle. So we could either add up 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, or we can do 2 times 4 because we have 4 groups of 2 of each of those edges. And then our height, this can be very confusing also because usually students have just learned about two-dimensional areas and perimeters of shapes. And so we're used to seeing base and height as 2 of those edges of that two-dimensional shape. But here, when we're talking about three-dimensional formulas, the height always refers to how tall this shape is. So because this cube is 2 meters tall, or in other words, we have 2 meters between our 2 rectangular bases, right? Because we have a rectangle up here at the top too. Let me use maybe a different color so that's a little bit easier to see. We have a rectangle up top, and we have a rectangle at the bottom. So those are our 2 what we would call rectangular bases because they are parallel to each other. This 2 meters is that distance between those 2 squares. So that is what we would use for the height of this three-dimensional figure. So our height is 2. So let's go ahead and multiply that. So 2 times 4 is 8, and then 8 times 2 is 16. And then because this is an area, this is a 3D shape, but we are measuring all of those two-dimensional surfaces, we would use the label of meters squared because this is 16 meters squared. We could fit 16 1 by 1 meter squares all along the outside faces of this three-dimensional shape. And let's just quickly recap what exactly it is that this measures. Now, we talked a lot about this base, this rectangular base or this square base, but this surface area, this lateral surface area, really is measuring the area of all of these side surfaces. So imagine that this is a room and you want to paint the walls of the room. You wouldn't paint the floor, you wouldn't paint the ceiling, you're just painting the walls. So that's what we're talking about with lateral surface area. Now let's get into total surface area. So our formula for total surface area is right here, pH plus 2b. So notice that pH is the same as our lateral surface area. And that's because total surface area, it has those 4 walls that we discussed before, but then it also has the floor. If we're talking about a room, it has the area of that floor as well as the area of the ceiling, right? So we're including those 2 areas of that top and bottom of this cube. So that's where the 2b comes from. Now, This capital B can be very confusing for students who are learning about this skill for the first time. What does it mean? It means the area, the two-dimensional area of the base. So again, we're just adding on those two squares, that top and bottom square. If we're thinking of this as a box, it would be the floor of the box and the lid of the box, right? So that is what we're talking about, that two-dimensional area of those two surfaces. So that's why we're multiplying the area of the bases times 2, because we have two of them, the top and the bottom. So let's go ahead and find out what that is. So we've already found our lateral surface area. We know that perimeter times height is 16 meters. And then we're going to add 2 times the base area. So again, that area of that two-dimensional figure, that's why I have these formulas over here of all of our 2D area formulas. So the rectangle or a square would be side times side, or base times height. So again, this is why these formulas can be so confusing, because we're using the same words of base and height, but we're talking about two completely different bases and heights when we're looking at this formula. So this base and height is the two-dimensional, basically length and width of each of these squares. So that would be 2 times 2, because that's the length and the width of one of those squares. And then we're multiplying it times 2 because we have that top and that bottom. Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate that. So 2 times 2 times 2, that gives us 8. And then 16 plus 8 gives us 24. So again, we have meters squared because this is the area of the surfaces of this shape. So our total surface area is 24 meters squared. Now, because this is a cube, I'm going to give you one more formula. Because this is a cube has all 6 sides are the same area. So you may see the total surface area of a cube formula written a little bit differently. Instead of using the perimeter, what we might see is the surface area is 6b. So what does that mean? Again, that capital B means the base area, the area of that two-dimensional base shape. And because we have 6 sides that are all exactly the same, then we would just multiply that base area times 6 because we have 6 of them. So our 6 times, and then our base area is again 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 6 is 24. So we still get 24 meters squared for the total surface area for that one. Okay, let's move on now to our volume formula. I find volume formula a little bit easier just conceptually to understand. We want to know how much can fill in this cube. How many 1 by 1 by 1 meter cubes can fit into this larger cube? So that's what we're looking for with volume. And our formula for a prism is V equals B, big B, capital B, H. So again, that capital B stands for the base area. So we want the area of that base square. So it's going to be 2 times 2. And then the height refers to the height of the three-dimensional prism. So how tall is this prism? It is also 2 meters, again, because this is a cube. A lot of times we might see the volume formula as length times width times height for a prism. So that is also one way that you might see it. And as you can see, that's exactly what we have here: a length of 2, a width of 2, and a height of 2. So let's go ahead and multiply all of that together. So 2 times 2 is 4, times another 2 is 8. So we get 8 meters cubed. So again, because we are finding the volume, we want to know how many cubes can fit inside of this shape. We are labeling it with that measurement of meters cubed in this one. Okay, now let's take a look at a rectangular prism. This one is not a cube. As you can see, we've got some different dimensions here of all of the edges of this cube. We're going to start again with our lateral surface area. So lateral surface area equals perimeter times height. Again, the perimeter is the perimeter of that base rectangle. So I'm going to use this rectangle as my base rectangle right here. So what are the dimensions of this rectangle? Well, this edge is 17, so that means this edge is also 17. And this edge would have to match with this, which would be 10, which also this would be 10 meters. So we're going to find our perimeter by multiplying 2 times 17 plus 2 times 10, because I have 2 of each of those measurements. Remember, our perimeter, we're measuring all the way around the outside distance of that shape. Okay, so that is all going to get calculated together. So I'm putting that in parentheses. And then the H, again, refers to the height of the three-dimensional prism. So that height for this particular prism would be 4 meters. So we've got a 4 there. By the way, all of these shapes came from Kuda Software. It's a free website that offers a ton of worksheets. That's where all of these came from, was the pre-algebra section in the volume and surface area section. So if you want to check that out, I'll have a link for that website in the description below. That's where I got all of these images. So let's go ahead and calculate this perimeter first. So 2 times 17, let's see, that'd be 20 and 14, so 34. Plus 2 times 10 is 20. And then we've got times 4. And then 34 plus 20 is 54 times 4. And then 54 times 4, let's see, 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 50 is 200, so that should give us 216. And then again, meters squared, because this is the area of those surfaces. So again, that's just the lateral surface area. So what we have just found are the areas of all of these outer faces of this rectangular prism. Okay, now let's go on to the total surface area, which is pH plus 2b. Okay, so again, we've already found pH, which is the lateral surface area of 216, plus 2 times the base area, so the area of those bases. So again, the area of that base is 10 by 17. And we've got 2 of them, because we've got this one down here at the bottom, and then we also have the rectangle that is sitting on the top, right? So we've got 2 times 10 times 17. So we've got 216 plus 10 times 17 is 170, so 2 times 170. 216 plus 2 times 170, let's see, that would give us 200 and then 140, so 340. And then we add all of that together. So 216 plus 340 gives us 556. And again, meters squared for that unit label there at the end there. So that's for our surface area. Now, before we move on to our volume, I wanted to talk about how to create a net that is made out of these rectangles that create this three-dimensional shape. So basically what I'm imagining is if this was a cardboard box and I'm breaking it down and flattening it out into those flat two-dimensional rectangles. And I want to connect that to the 2 formulas that we just used. So let's start with that lateral surface area, which was those outer rectangles. So I'm going to start with this rectangle here of 4 meters by 17 meters. And I'm just going to draw that out right here. So it's kind of a longer, skinnier rectangle that is 4 by 17. Okay. And we're just going to keep going around this box. Connected to that would be another 4 by this time 10 meters. So this one's going to be a little bit shorter. So 4 by 10, still 4 meters tall, but now it's 10 meters wide. And then we are going to be looking at this rectangle over here. So another 4 by 17, so that longer one. So here we've got 17, still 4 meters tall. And then finally our last lateral surface area of 10 meters by 4. So again, still 4 meters tall, but this one is the 10 meters wide. Okay. So now if we imagine all of these little pieces here, these lines here gone, and we've got the sides of this box flattened out, what have we made? We've made just one long rectangle, right? So we've made a rectangle that is the perimeter of this base shape long, right? So 17 plus 10 plus 17 plus 10, which we found out down here gave us 54, right? So this whole long rectangle is 54 meters long. And then we multiplied that 54 meters times the height, which was 4. So that's where that lateral surface area formula comes from. Okay, now let's add on the top and the bottom for our total surface area, because what we have so far is just all of those sides of the box, but now we need the bottom and the top of the box. So the bottom of the box is 10 by 17. So we can attach that right here. That's going to be where this rectangle goes right here. So again, 17 meters long, 10 meters high. And hopefully we can imagine if we were to fold this up, I probably actually made this rectangle a little too tall, but this edge would fold up and meet up with this edge of this 10-meter long rectangle down here. So I'm actually going to, just to make it a little bit easier to see, make it a little bit shorter to try to match it up. And I know it's not perfect, and then we would need another one on the other side. So again, 17 meters long and then 10 meters on this other edge. So let's see what we just added there. We have our 216 that we already found from our long skinny rectangle that we started off with, but now we just added 2 of our 10 times 17 rectangles, the area of each of these rectangles. We just added on 2 of those to that 216 square meters that we started with. So that's where our total surface area formula comes from, with adding on that 2 times capital B, big B, base, which is the area of our base. And finally, let's finish up with our volume. We're going to find the volume of this rectangular prism. So our volume formula is capital B, base, times height. So that this is a prism. This is a rectangular prism. Because it is a rectangular prism, the rectangle is the base of our three-dimensional shape here. So we need to find the area of that two-dimensional base. So again, that's going to be the 10 times 17. So that's 10 times 17. That's the area of our rectangle, base times height. And then times different height, the height of the three-dimensional figure, which is 4 meters. So we're going to multiply that times 4. So 10 times 17 is 170. Times 4. So let's see, 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 7 is 28. And then 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 more is 6. So we get 680 meters cubed. So again, we're using cubed for the volume units. Thanks so much for watching. Up next, I have triangular prisms. We're going to be finding the volume and surface area of those in my next video. So check out the description. I have a link for that, plus a ton of other videos below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.